What's up, YouTube? Welcome to my review of the first run Diesel by Fly High Disc. This is a brand new company out there on the market. I got in touch with them because I found out about them on YouTube through a video from McFly So High. And I got in touch with them. They were nice enough to send me some plastic, so a big thank you goes out to Fly High Discs. I appreciate that. And it's always exciting for me to test out some new stuff and help spread the word about some a smaller company that's out there trying to break into the scene and offer us some new plastics and some new molds. So Fly High, I think they're out of Colorado. I also have another fairway driver called Jack the Ripper that I'm going to be reviewing later today. Those are the two they sent me. Really exciting to receive plastic like that. It's always really fun. It's only happened a couple times, but it's pretty awesome. I feel pretty lucky for that, and it's all really thanks to you guys watching my videos and hitting that subscribe button. All that stuff means the world to me. So thanks a lot. And yeah, the Diesel. There's your look at the flight numbers. So it's pretty fast and very stable. No real turn to it. Strong fade for sure. It's the first run. Give you a look at the rim profile. So this guy's pretty flat on top, and it's got a little bit of a little indent right here that you may be able to detect. I can kind of see it in my viewfinder, so I'm hoping it translates to the video. Here's the underside. You can see it's got a little bit of a bead on the underside, which I think is interesting, and pretty decent sized rim. It's somewhat wide rim for sure for an 11 speed, and it's a very quick disc. I could see it being a 12 speed or pretty close at least. So the plastic type kind of feels a little bit like Gateway-ish, where it's really grippy but pretty rigid. Doesn't have a lot of give to it. It's pretty sturdy disc, but it's got kind of a rubbery, almost like satin feel to it, but it definitely has a nice grip. I feel like the grip is almost enhanced if your hands are a little wet, or if the disc gets a little wet. It feels really nice in the grip, and it doesn't hamper you at all. So it's a really nice plastic type for the Pacific Northwest, especially in the winter and the spring. It rains a lot. Even if you get out on a day that's not rainy, there's a good chance that the grass is going to be wet anyway from weeks of rain before that day. So really nice disc for that. Also, if you live in some place that's just really hot and humid, you get sweaty hands a lot, could be a good plastic type for you to check out, because it has a good feel when it gets wet for sure, and still feels pretty sturdy, where it's not going to be like DX or Pro D and really get trashed easy. It probably won't be the most durable plastic out there, but I think they were trying to go more for grip and feel over durability. The price line on these discs is really reasonable too, so it's not a big deal if you want to get a few, break them into different levels, and something a little aside that I always think about as far as plastic that's not super durable. You could always get a couple, save one that you throw in open field type situations only, and it's going to stay fresh for a super long time. Really, the only way you're going to beat in a disc is hitting trees and having it land on rocks and hard surfaces. If you're throwing this thing out in open field shots like park style golf or those open holes, it's going to stay fresh for a long time. So the flights on the Diesel, honestly, you could throw this thing about 5 times and know exactly what's going to go on with this thing. It's overstable. It's fast. It's got good glide, decent distance, but it really likes to fall out strong on the fade. If you have kind of a slow arm, you're a beginner, this thing would probably be very overstable for you. Be great to throw into the wind. Be great to throw for a spike hyzer, something you want to throw up high, let it cut sharp and dig in and stick where it lands, really spike in. It works well for that. It seemed to like to do that for me. Every time I threw it up high, it would eventually slow down and it would fade out and stick, and if you're playing somewhere muddy, it might even tombstone for you and just bam, stick in and stand straight up. So I didn't get a lot of skip out of this thing. It could be the environments I'm testing it in, wet fields and wet fairways and stuff. So that could be part of it, but I didn't get a lot of skip out of it. It seemed to really like to dig in and stick where it lands. If you have a big arm, I think this thing would really shine. It would probably be a great sidearm disc because of that nice stability, but it still would probably go pretty straight if you have a strong sidearm because of how much torque you can get on that, a really strong forehand throw. If you're a big arm backhand player, you'll probably really like this thing as a very kind of straight, stable disc that'll hold the line very strong and carry quite straight for most of its flight and still have that little bit of finish at the end. So a very solid, trustworthy disc, extremely consistent. I had no kind of surprises with this disc. I think the only time it surprised me was a couple of times I threw it and it just went dead straight and finished soft left. It seemed more stable than that, leading into those couple of throws. That particular day, I was throwing really well. I was putting a lot of energy on discs. So it's hard to say. But yeah, if you have a big arm, I think this thing would be a really nice disc for you, something that you can trust. And really anybody that's going to try to throw this thing will find it really consistent. Maybe you don't like that overstable thing, but it's still nice to have at least something in the bag that it's always going to have that strong fade at the end. So the Diesel definitely gets that job done for me. It's not like meat hook overstable, but you know what it's going to do. So that's my review on the first run Diesel by Fly High Disc. Definitely worth checking it out, and thanks a lot for watching, guys. Cheers.